Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, it's going to be quickly, brief, and short. I wanted to kind of share with you guys that I recently started a project where I have my own podcast where I interview people who have a story. And by a story, I'm talking about they underwent a test and they have a powerful testimony behind it. I am interviewing people who have literally underwent immense trials and triumphed through every single one of them. So me starting this journey has been, the thought of it was just to kind of inspire hope, instill hope for other people and everybody. The one thing we can all relate to, at least like right now, especially right now, is every single one of us is going through something. And a lot of people are experiencing much more severity, going through a severe storm than others, especially again in a time like today. And the purpose behind it is, I feel like that glimpse of hope is diminishing, where shadows and the darkest of valleys are starting to become much more known and much more familiarized with life. And I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to bring that spark of hope. And there are people, I'm not saying I'm the only one doing this, but there are people out there, like where they do offer inspiration and offer glimpses of light, But I just wanted to create a platform where everything is under like this umbrella. And by this umbrella, I'm talking about where if you're navigating depression, this podcast would be for you. If you're navigating anxiety, this podcast is for you. If you're navigating a season, this podcast is for you. If you're navigating, a spiritual warfare or anything, like I want this to be an umbrella for you, where if you're going through a season and you want, pieces of advice or recommendations on what you should do or what you can do. Like I wanted to create this platform to be that source for you guys, to be that outlet for you guys. So I started this podcast called Become the Victor, and it's a little bit about marketing behind it too, but like my book is called Become the Victor, Turning Trials into Triumph. And after I released the book, and I've been sitting with this podcast idea for a very, very long while. And not many of you actually know, but I actually started this YouTube channel in 2019, and I really started taking it seriously in 2020. And this YouTube channel was all about talking about TV shows and movies and anything television entertainment related. And I hired a whole entire production team to help create my content, all these different things. A lot of money went into this project. And I failed miserably. It almost got off the ground, and I failed miserably. I was working on that for several years, and after about the fourth year, things started to get off the ground and build up some momentum, and I ended up failing miserably with that project. So a lot of failures and a lot of trials, a lot of seasons, a lot of doubt went on behind the scenes. But, after I failed miserably with this project, I still had this YouTube channel, and I had over 3,000 subscribers on it. Fun fact, I actually was getting close to 1 million views within 48 hours, which is insane. I literally, within an hour, I was gaining, I think within an hour, the most I had was 500,000 views. I think it was like 500,000 within like 60 minutes or something like that. Crazy. It was like insane journey, insane growth. But anyhow, that channel ended up flopping. It didn't do too well as I had hoped. And so I had this YouTube channel, and I removed all the content, and I kind of just had it sitting there for the longest while. And I thought about creating my own podcast where, I can interview people who have a story and do all these different things. And I was like, what can I name it? And Become the Victor, I thought was was pretty powerful. And then I was like, well, what can it be about? And then I was reflecting off my book, and my book, is about become the victor, turning trials into triumph. So then I was like, why don't you just turn that into a podcast? So I sat with the idea for a while, and long story short, ended up repurposing that YouTube channel. So that YouTube channel I began with over 3,000 subscribers. I think it's like 3,100 subscribers, something like that. No, I think it's a little less than 3,100 subscribers. But I have over 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, on Become the Victor YouTube channel, which is my podcast. So I decided to repurpose it and do all that. So that's how I started this YouTube channel with 3,000 subscribers, because, I was working on another project in 2020, and, for several years, and it flopped. It didn't, I failed miserably. It started getting momentum. I was barely starting to make money from it, and then, it just didn't work out. But, like, there's my plan, right? And then there's God's plan, right? So there's always your plan, and there's always God's plan. So in the moment, when I failed miserably, because again, a lot of money, I won't say the number, but a lot of money went into that project, a lot of money, time, sacrifices, effort, restless, sleepless nights, like so much went into that project. So it hurt. And as I was navigating that process, and as I was navigating that season, of course, like you're discouraged, you're disappointed, right? But, my plan was for it to work out. My plan was for it to succeed, right? And then I can venture off and do all my other stuff. But then there's God's plan. And God's plan was telling me, not now, son. Not right now. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. And as time progressed, and as time went on, if it wasn't for that YouTube channel failing the way that it had, it would have never led me to publishing my book. It would have never led me to, excuse me, it would have never led me to publishing my book. It would have never led me to creating this podcast. So what I'm trying to say here, and I hope I can get across here within this message, is there's always your plan, and there's always God's plan. And as much as you really, really want your plan to work, sometimes God will do certain things, remove certain things, because he has something much more bigger planned for you that you cannot see within the moment. But you have to keep the faith within the process. It is faith that will pull you through your most trialing seasons. But it is your work ethic that will take you through those seasons. Meaning, you have to put in the work within the seasons. You have to put in the work within the process in order to reap the rewards and see the opportunities that God has right at the road for you. To put it simply, you are the vehicle to your destiny, but God is your fuel. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys gained value from this video. I really didn't have much of an idea, plan behind what I was going to talk about in today's video, but I just wanted to kind of share this with you guys. It's been quite the journey. It's been quite the process. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Still does. Still is. And you just got to keep the faith, to put it simply. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to see my podcast, it will be linked within the description as well. And yeah, it's a powerful journey. It's pretty surreal. By the time you guys see this video, I think I'm gonna upload this today. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but I'll upload it today. So by the time you guys see this video, stay tuned, because tomorrow's guest is a 3 times best-selling author and a great guy, amazing story, and yeah, and I look forward to what this year has in store. You know, with just I'm curious. What the next remaining weeks of 2026 has in store. I think yeah, it's been quite the season. But when I created this show, I picture, like Ellen DeGeneres is one of my inspirations behind it. Oprah Winfrey is another inspiration behind it. Steve Harvey is another huge inspiration behind this project. And, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll lead into my own television show. But, but yeah, I love you guys.